You follow their rules. You prove your loyalty. You choose to be the better person. And for this, you are punished. You are made to feel weak because of your kindness, naive because of your trust. You hold your tongue to keep the peace, and your silence is mistaken for weakness. You offer honesty, and they sharpen it into a weapon to use against you, all while you watch the manipulative and deceitful rise of the very virtues you were told would save you. What if the principles you believe make you good are actually the chains that keep you vulnerable? 500 years ago, Niccolo Machiavelli understood a brutal truth. In the game of power, your virtue is your enemy's greatest weapon. You have been sold a lie that your good nature is a shield. Machiavelli knew it was a target. This is not about becoming cruel. It is about becoming unbreakable. This is not about becoming evil. It is about understanding the mechanics of a world that is indifferent to your good intentions. This is how to become untouchable. The world as it is. The frustration that led you here is a quiet, burning resentment. It is the feeling of being perpetually underestimated. You see the game being played in the office, in your social circles, in the world. And you realize the rules you follow are not the rules that lead to victory. The real game is one of perception, of leverage, of psychological warfare. Your refusal to play has not made you noble, it has made you predictable. And predictability is the cornerstone of control. When they can predict your kindness, they can take advantage of it. When they can predict your honesty, they can manipulate it. When they can predict your emotional response, they can provoke it at will to make you weak. That's a weakness. You are trapped by a morality that others pretend to have, but refuse to practice. This is the pain Machiavelli addresses. He is the most misunderstood philosopher in history, his name a synonym for deceit. But to dismiss him is to dismiss the physician, because you are afraid of the diagnosis. Machiavelli was not a teacher of evil, he was a teacher of reality, a diplomat and strategist who saw the world not as it ought to be, but as it actually is. His work, The Prince, was not a manual for tyrants. It was a cold analysis of how power is won, kept, and lost. His principles are for anyone who refuses to be ruled by others' manipulations. This isn't about becoming a monster. It's about understanding the monsters, so you're never devoured by one. It's about learning the language of power, so you are never silenced again. It's about becoming so psychologically fortified that the thought of attacking you becomes a risk most are unwilling to take. This is the art of becoming untouchable. Master your image. Machiavelli wrote, "Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see you, but few can touch you." In our world, perception is reality. Your character, your intentions, your skills, they are irrelevant. All that matters is the image you project. Power is not about truth. It's about what people believe to be true. The naive believe their good work will speak for itself. The strategist knows this is a fatal error. Your actions do not speak for themselves. They are interpreted through the lens of the image you have already built. If you are perceived as weak, your success is often attributed to luck. If you are perceived as powerful, your failures are seen as calculated risks. This isn't about being fake. It is about curation, the art of choosing what you reveal and what you conceal. Most people are open books, broadcasting every insecurity, every thought, every emotion. They overshare, they explain, and they seek sympathy. That's a weakness. You owe no one your inner world. You owe yourself the advantage of being unreadable. Think of your public image as a fortress. Every piece of unnecessary information you share is a stone pulled from that wall. You must control how they see you to control how they treat you. Humans rely on mental shortcuts. The most powerful is the first impression. Once an opinion is formed, we are slaves to confirmation bias. We seek what confirms our belief and ignore what contradicts it. The untouchable individual doesn't wait for others to form an opinion. They plant the exact opinion they want. Machiavelli's inspiration, Cesare Borgia, needed to pacify a violent region. He sent a cruel lieutenant, Ramiro de Orco, to crush dissent with brutal efficiency. But this brutality created hatred. Once the region was subdued, Borgia knew that hatred could turn on him. So, in a masterstroke of perception, he had de Orco publicly arrested, tried, and executed, leaving his body in the town square. He reaped the benefits of de Orco's cruelty while positioning himself as the just savior. He controlled the narrative. He understood. You delegate the dirty work, but personally claim the glory. To apply this, you must audit your image. How do people see you? Reliable, but not a leader. Friendly, but not a force. Be honest. Next, define your desired image. An authority, a visionary, a force of nature. Choose one. Project strength. Project unpredictability. Then curate every point of contact. Your attire, your posture. These are data points. Then your communication. Speak with precision. In a world of noise, the one who speaks less, but with more weight, commands attention. And finally, your digital footprint. Social media is not a diary, it is a billboard. What you post, like, and share contributes to the perception others have of you. Manage it like a weapon. Never reveal all your cards. Mystery prevents others from getting a full measure of you. If they cannot measure you, they cannot prepare a defense against you. Your reality doesn't matter. Only what they think is real. Master this, and you have won the first battle. Weaponize your emotions. In the arena of power, your emotions are a map to your weaknesses. Anger makes you predictable. Desperation makes you manipulable. To be ruled by passion is to be a puppet, and there is always someone willing to pull the strings. The untouchable individual understands that emotional discipline is not suppression, but mastery. It is the ability to feel anger or betrayal, but never act on it impulsively. Machiavelli saw hot-blooded nobles dueling over insults, not as honorable, but as a strategic flaw. The man who can be provoked is a man who can be led into a trap. The man who cannot be provoked creates a terrifying uncertainty in his opponents. They swing and they hit air. Their provocations clatter uselessly to the floor. This detachment is what makes you feared. When you are attacked and do not react, you break the script. Your aggressor expects anger or fear. When they don't get it, they are forced to reconsider you. Your calm is a demonstration of power. It communicates that their attack was insignificant. It forces them to escalate, to become flustered, to make mistakes, while you simply observe. Think of a negotiation. The amateur gets emotionally invested. The master negotiator is a stone wall. They present their terms with quiet confidence, then fall silent. Their emotional state is unreadable. This vacuum is deeply uncomfortable. The other party rushes to fill it with concessions, justifications, with more information than they ever intended to reveal. The calm mind controls the chaotic one. To cultivate this state, you must practice the pause. When you feel a strong emotion, do nothing. Do not speak, do not type. Create a space between the stimulus and your response. In that space is your power. Next, reframe provocations. Stop seeing insults as personal. See them as strategic maneuvers designed to make you weak. When you view it as a tactic, you can analyze it rather than feeling it. You become a strategist, not a victim. Finally, detach from outcomes. True power comes from being prepared to walk away. This is not a bluff. It is a genuine indifference to any outcome that does not serve your purpose. Your enemy must never know they affected you. If they believe they shook you, they have won. But if they strike, and you don't even flinch, if you respond only with calm, surgical precision, they begin to fear they are facing something they cannot defeat. The unreadable are unbeatable. In a world of noise, silence is a statement. Most people talk to feel important, chattering nervously and revealing their plans and weaknesses. The untouchable individual knows that words are ammunition, and they refuse to hand it over. They have mastered strategic silence. When you are silent, you are learning. You are calculating. Silence creates a vacuum that others rush to fill with the very information you need. When you remain silent after a direct question, you disrupt the social rhythm. The other person's mind races. Did I say something wrong? Are they angry? Your silence makes you an enigma. It puts them on the defensive. It cedes control to you. Do not announce your plans. Execute silently. The most effective moves are the ones nobody sees coming. Announcing your intentions invites opposition and sabotage. The lion does not roar before it stalks its prey. It moves in silence. The roar comes only at the moment of the strike. Let your results be the noise. To forge silence into a weapon, you must be comfortable with pauses. The next time someone asks you a significant question, hold their gaze. Pause. Let the tension build. This simple act communicates that you are thoughtful and that your words have value. Next, practice the art of the minimal response. Not every question deserves a detailed answer. Use short, non-committal phrases. Interesting. I see. This starves them of the reaction they seek, forcing them to reveal more of their own position. Use silence to expose liars. Manipulators thrive on controlling the conversation. When they finish their pitch, just look at them. Say nothing. An honest person may be confused, but a dishonest one will become deeply uncomfortable. The lie hangs in the air, unsupported. They will almost always start talking again, trying to patch the holes, and often contradicting themselves. Your silence becomes a lie detector. To be untouchable is to be unreadable. To be unreadable is to be unpredictable. And to be unpredictable is to be undefeatable. Let your silence speak for you. And when you finally do speak, make sure every word is a calculated strike. It is safer to be feared than loved. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. This is Machiavelli's most brutal declaration, but to take it at face value is to miss the wisdom beneath. It is not an endorsement of cruelty, it is a cold calculation of human nature. Machiavelli is not advocating for you to inspire hatred. He explicitly warns against being hated, as hatred breeds rebellion. The fear he speaks of is a profound and unwavering respect. It is the fear of consequences. It is the certainty in the minds of others that crossing you will have swift and definite repercussions. Love, Machiavelli argued, is a flimsy bond held by obligation. But humans are fickle and self-interested. Their love lasts only as long as it serves them. The moment it becomes inconvenient to love you, that bond will break. Fear, on the other hand, is a bond of self-preservation. A person's fear of consequences is constant because it is tied to their own self-interest. They may not like you, but they will not cross you. That is not cruelty. That is clarity. People are more motivated by the fear of losing something than by the prospect of gaining something. Your affection is a potential gain. The consequences of your displeasure are a definite loss. To build this reputation, you must establish clear, unshakable boundaries. When a boundary is crossed, you must act, not with anger, but with decisive, surgical precision. The first time you let a transgression slide, you teach the world that your boundaries are negotiable. Your actions must be consistent. People must know with absolute certainty that if they meet your expectations, they are secure, and if they fail, there will be a price to pay. This is what separates respected fear from hated tyranny. A tyrant is arbitrary. A respected leader is predictable in their principles. Use mercy and generosity as strategic tools, not as defaults. When you have the power to punish, but choose to show mercy, it has a profound impact. It demonstrates that your actions are a choice granted from a position of strength. Finally becomes necessary. Make your values so critical that losing you would be an act of self-destruction for others. When their success is intertwined with yours, their self-interest dictates their loyalty. They will protect themselves to protect you. You do not need to be liked. You need to be effective. You don't ask to be respected. You build a presence that makes disrespect feel dangerous. At the end, the lessons of Machiavelli are not a path to darkness, but a floodlight that illuminates the hidden mechanics of power. To become untouchable is not to hide from the world. It is to reforge yourself into a weapon so calibrated it rarely needs to be used. You master your image because perception is the only reality that matters. You weaponize your emotions, achieving a calm that your adversaries cannot counter. You embrace strategic silence, forcing your opponents to reveal their weaknesses. And you understand that it is safer to be feared than loved, trading the fickle currency of affection for the solid gold of respect. This is a shift from pawn to player, from a reactive object to a strategic agent who shapes their own destiny. You stop explaining your pain to the people who caused it. You stop living on borrowed peace. You are not cold. You are not a monster. You are awake. If this video was a wake-up call, do not just scroll past. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications. This is more than content. It is a strategy for the mind, power for the soul, and armor for a world that wants to break you.